Ladies and gentlemen, the 3 knockdown rule is in effect. I'm Steve Kim, joined by Mario Lopez. And Mario, today we have 2 very special guests in studio.
You know, I always look forward to our guests, whoever they may be. But man, this is someone who is the top of the game, the fighter of the year, someone who have great deal in admiration for, and coming off in a spectacular knockout over Jorge Linares, the champ, Vasyl Lomachenko. Thank you so much for coming in. And of course,
one of the premier managers in the sport, the influential Egis Klimas.
Yes. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for taking the time to come. First of all, how are you feeling, Vasyl? I know you had surgery just a couple of days ago by the renowned Dr. Neil Alatrash, who I've actually gone to see too. I was supposed to get the surgery, never got it. But man, this guy works on everyone from Kobe Bryant to every top-notch athlete in the world. So you're obviously in great hands. But you seem to be okay.
Now I feel great, and I can wait to come back in my camp because I wanna fight again.
So did the doctor say you have to keep it, because you're wearing a sling, as we can see at the moment, did he say that you have to keep it immobile? And when is the first time you're able to do any sort of light exercise to start rehabbing it?
In Monday we go in...
Monday?
Yeah. Monday
already.
we start
Wow.
work a little bit with my hand.
Okay, so Monday. And has it been very difficult is this your first surgery?
No.
How-
I have a problem with my left hand. Now I have a problem my right shoulder. No, it's a sport.
It's just the sport and part of what happens.
And Mario, I didn't know this, but he signs and he writes with his right hand. I didn't know that. Someone asked him for an autograph a couple minutes ago. Vasyl, May 12th, you fought Jorge Linares, very dramatic 10th round knockout at Madison Square Garden. Did you injure that early in the fight? Because there was footage of you in the corner. It seemed to be like they were rubbing your shoulder. When did the injury occur?
In the second round, and I make my right hook punch, and after that I feel pain, and then second round, and I make one more punch, right hook, and after that I feel my right hand done.
Yeah, so Vasyl, so to clarify this, you could jab straight, but the hook was a real issue with the right hand.
Yeah, I can use a straight, and I can use sometimes uppercut, but I can't use a hook.
Yes, it's eerily similar. It's the same injury I had too. But again, never got the surgery. So it was your labrum, correct? Yeah. You had the exact same thing too. And again, coincidentally, the same doctor. And it is weird because you can do motions straight ahead, but the hook, because of the shoulder, really becomes painful. But the uppercut, ironically, does not. Now, obviously, you've always been in a really good shape. The injuries you've had, is it just more of, do you feel just the wear and tear and just what happens with the body sometimes? Because you were prepared for this fight. In great condition. It's just one of those things that sometimes just happens, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, you know, let me jump into this.
I know you understood me, though.
Let me jump into this. The way it was, the doctor explained it, and we looked at the MRI. The doctor explained it. The lumbar was tear up because his joint popped out, his kind of a bone jump out of a joint, and then luckily tear up a lumbar and then went back. So the doctor said, you are very lucky, because if it wouldn't go back up, then his hand would be hanging, and he wouldn't be continuing. Any doctor wouldn't let to continue a fight later. So basically, he was in a very lucky situation. It went back into the position after tearing up a lumbar.
So this is almost career-threatening on one night, basically.
Right, and what a testament too, as a fighter, to continue on.
But because his muscles are trained so hard and the muscles are so strong, it wouldn't let to be out of the joint. It just kind of like push it back right after it. So
and the adrenaline, of course. By the way, Vasyl, English, very good.
I try.
No, very, very good, my friend.
It's hard.
No, very, very good. Let me know if we need to slow down, because Steve Kim likes to talk fast.
Yeah. Well, speaking of which, during the fight, so rounds 3 to 10, how much are you thinking about your right shoulder and the pain?
After second round?
Yeah.
Or, I think it was number 8. 8.
On a scale of 1 to 10, it was an 8.
Yeah. Yeah.
So your whole time you're thinking, geez, this really hurts.
Yeah, of course. That's why I use only straight jab, my right hand.
And yet you still put a lot of pressure, and you were still in front of your opponent, throwing a lot of punches as opposed to just reacting and countering. You still was that the game plan?
Yeah,
from the
of
beginning?
course, because I can't show him what I have a problem
Right.
in this fight. That's why I use always pressure and use my left hand.
Right. What surprised you about Jorge Linares?
Surprised. He has a very fast punch, and he is very smart boxer. And I have a surprise in the 6 rounds.
Yeah, no.
Well, but so speaking of which, to me, you're starting to really control the fight. 2, 3, 4, and 5, and even round 6, you're winning. Then the right hand comes.
Yeah.
Have you ever been knocked down before?
Yeah, in an amateur boxing.
Oh.
In an amateur, yeah, I have the same punch and the same situation, the same.
Wow. And clearly it didn't affect you. You were able to come back and close the show in a big way. Right now, I think you have the coolest name in boxing, or nickname, I should say, Lomachenko.
I don't like it.
I heard you say you don't like it. Why don't you like it?
I don't know. My second name is Lomachenko, and my nickname it's Loma. Now it's Loma.
Now it's Loma.
Lomachenko done.
But I got to say, it's a cool one. I mean, in Egis, I think it says a lot about it, because if you could submit a fighter and have him quit, that's almost more degrading than a knockout itself, and is telling for the champ, right?
Of course, for me, it was, when I was talking to everybody, for me, it always was like, it's to make your opponent quit in the corner, not to come out from your corner to fight. For me, it was more fun than knocking them out.
Of course.
Than knocking out.
And to end it with a body shot.
Exactly.
It's even double down.
That's even
Great.
double down. And no, let me tell you, he's incredibly knows how to make them quit. And what happened in the last fight, he showed to the boxing fans and to the boxing world what people can fight. This is the second time. We were in Macau fighting a guy from Thailand, and Vasily broke his left hand. He broke it, and everybody could see that. Everybody, even his opponent, everybody saw his hand is broken. But because a referee cannot inspect it, with a glove, so we let him continue a fight. And he won every single round from number 6 to number 12 with a one hand.
Wow, it's unbelievable. And that's the thing about boxing too, why it's just stands out, and I think head and shoulders above every other sport. In other sports, people try to hide their injuries, or pardon me, people try to exaggerate their injuries for benefit. In boxing, you try to hide them.
Yeah, exactly. Like I would say, like probably 90, 95, maybe 98% of other fighters would quit.
Right.
Just take his last fight with Rigondeaux, the fight before that, the fight with Rigondeaux. Nobody even saw Rigondeaux hit his arm, and all of a sudden, in the 6 or 7 rounds, he says, "I can't continue no more. My hand hurts."
Yes.
And you cannot even see it. He went to the hospital, nothing happened. He came back after the X-rays or MRIs. He came back, nothing happened to the hand. And this is a man with a broken shoulder going, 6, 7 rounds.
Vasily, was Linares the best fighter you faced?
I don't know because I fight with him with one hand. I don't know, but he's good. His defense good. He feel very good distance, and he is a top fighter.
And this is your first fight at 135, and you took on the consensus best lightweight in the world. Now, the interesting thing about you, Vasily, you've won titles at 26, 30, and 35 in just 12 fights. That's an amazing achievement. Do you think you'll be at lightweight for a little bit while, like let's say a couple of years?
Yeah. I stay 135, and I want to unificate a title with a Mikey and with a Beltran, maybe with a Easter. For me, it doesn't matter. I want to unificate.
What do you walk around at? What weight normally?
145. Now my weight 145.
Oh, so it's not like he's killing himself to make the weight.
And by the way, it looks like Mikey Garcia, Robert Easter, I believe they're going to fight July 28th at the Staples Center. I think that fight's going to get done. Now, Beltran, you were supposed to fight, or at least in negotiations, I believe, for August, right? Or 25th. Vasily, do you believe in your heart of hearts, you know how you feel more than we do? Do you think you will be boxing again by the end of 2018?
I won't fight in December. We talk with Bob Arum, with Egis, and maybe my next fight will be December 8th. Maybe.
In December.
On
I
Bob's
try.
birthday.
I
on
try, yeah.
Bob Aaron birthday.
Oh.
Bob Aaronsworth, that'd be a nice
On
birthday
December 8th,
present.
yes. He's going to be 87 years old.
Wow, 87 and still incredibly sharp and
Very sharp.
full of spit and vinegar. Vasily, what's been your favorite place to fight? What area?
Maybe in New York.
In New York,
Yeah,
huh?
of course, because a lot of people come in Madison Square Garden and support me, and I like it.
You know what I noticed? A lot of Ukrainian flags. And outside the fight, you were probably in the locker room at the press conference. I walk out, Mario, and there's like 500 Ukrainians with flags chanting on the corner of, I believe it was 8th Street. Vasily, do you now sense that the Ukrainian fans are starting to really support you?
Yeah, we have a lot of Ukrainian people in New York and this area, so I love it. And for me, it's very приятно.
A big pleasure for
Of
me.
course.
Black
Yeah.
But I also, I mean, obviously you've got that fan base, but you've been able to transcend and a lot of fans from a lot of different walks of life, from every kind of demographic, which I think says a lot about yourself too. Ultimately, obviously you want to consolidate the titles at 135. What weight can you see yourself going as high as?
I don't know because this weight 135, I feel smaller than my opponent. You know, I feel this, but I don't know. We'll see. We need to wait couple years. Maybe after a couple of years, I a little bit.
Right. We all get a little bigger.
Well,
right.
they said that Lenars may have been 152. So, Vasily, if you're in there feeling his body, could you see like, oh, God, this guy really is big? Could you sense that?
Then we go in a ring together, and I saw him after weight in. I think, oh, he's big now.
Yeah.
Big difference.
Yeah, big
Yeah.
difference.
What do people come up to you and ask you the most? What fighter do they say they want to see you up against the most?
Люди, какие, когда с тобой разговаривают, кого хотели бы, чтобы ты боксировал? Твои фаны.
A lot of people want top fighters. They are boxer fans want great fights, and they want fights with the champions. Only champion with the champion.
Right. With the
Yeah.
champ. That's great. And you've, to your credit, have taken on.
For me, it's too important because
Right.
I want to be in a history boxing, and I understand. If you want to be in a history, you need fight with a champion.
Yeah, Mario, great stat about Lomachenko. 12 professional fights, 7 of his opponents have had some sort of world title. So basically, half the guys he's faced
Right.
have had a major belt around their shoulders or their waist. I mean, so it's really unprecedented to actually win 3 world titles in 12 fights, and that's actually a record.
No, it's unbelievable. And you had such a successful, extensive amateur career. When you made the transition, was it as difficult as you thought, or were you able to be comfortable?
После любительской карьеры тебе было трудно перестроиться?
You know, after amateur boxer, I fight a couple fights in a WSB series. It's like
World Series of Boxing.
Yeah, World
right.
Series
right.
of Boxing. Yeah, it's not big different because I go next step, 5 rounds, 3 minutes, and it's helped me for my professional career.
You've seen all the styles, really, yeah.
Well, your amateur record, 396-1, 2 Olympic gold medals.
Unbelievable.
Here's my question to you, Vasily. You're 30 years old, and I still think you have a lot of boxing left. Did you ever think about turning pro after the first gold medal?
Профессионалы перейти после первой Олимпиады.
I think about this. I want to go after Olympic game, my first Olympic games. I won't go in a professional, but my father, my coach, he told me, "Hey, you need to wait a little bit. You need to grow up a little bit. Your body not ready for this." Okay, if you think, I'm agree with you.
Yeah.
And we stay on second.
Right.
Second.
As they say, father knows best. So you are 30 years old now. How long do you plan on boxing professionally? How long would you like to do this?
I think maybe 5-7 years, but nobody knows because
Right.
it's a hard sport. It's a sport.
You can't predict the future.
Yes.
Exactly. You mentioned your father. You're one of the few really great examples of a father-son dynamic. That's such a tough pairing, putting your son in that situation, but you've managed to keep it very successful. Did you ever have any second thoughts of not wanting to affect that relationship and considered another trainer?
I never think about this. Yes, of course we have sometimes we have a problem in our relation. Yeah, our relation, but we are a family, and I can't change my part of my team. I can't change my father. I can't change my coach. No, I never think about this.
Yeah, Dad's not going anywhere, which is good. And I don't know if I know this or not, but Vasyl, are you married?
Yeah,
You're married. Do you have children?
you too. Yeah, son and daughter.
How old?
6 and 4.
6 and 4. Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's almost the same age as my kids. Are you going to allow your son to box if he wants to get into it?
If he wants, if he understand what he wants, I help him, and I think my father helped too.
Yeah.
We don't know. It's his
His choice.
His choice. Yeah, it's his
Right.
choice.
His choice. Okay. And how does your wife feel about as far as how long you want to fight? Is she very supportive? Is it? Did
Yeah,
she
of course,
struggle with
because she's a sportsman. She was a sportsman.
She was an athlete?
Yes.
Oh, what did she do?
She's an acrobat.
Oh.
Yeah, and she understands the sport, and she understands and support me.
Right.
So
Oh, so you're gonna have some athletic kids.
we have yeah we have a sports family. You know.
Yeah.
My
There's
mom
good
my
footwork.
mom too sportsman. My mom too acrobat.
Oh, really?
She trained my wife and my sister. My sister was with my wife in a pair in a
In the gym, in the gymnastics. And
Oh,
the
wow.
Acrobat.
yeah.
Oh, the whole family.
Yeah.
Is athletic.
There's great
Wow.
footwork in this family.
Yeah,
When I call him the
clearly.
Baryshnikov of boxing,
Yeah.
I didn't know how apt that really was. Vasyl, has it been? I remember like a year and a half ago when you were in your Egis, you guys could not get guys to fight. I remember Nicholas Walters had to be basically taken kicking and dragging and screaming into a fight, and you guys were willing to give up some of your purse to get in there to make the fight. Vasily, is the business of boxing frustrating where it's not like the amateurs where you just fight whoever wins in a tournament?
Mm-hmm.
But in professional boxing, there's a lot of negotiations. People hide behind things. How do you feel about the business of boxing?
Now I'm part of this business, and now I understand this, but I don't like it because I like a challenge. I like if we have a champions, we have only one champion, so that's why I want to unificate my title.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. What fighter do you think poses the biggest challenge in your weight class? when
Now,
you see
yeah,
them? Yes.
I think it will be Mikey Garcia. I think
What is it about his style that you think would be challenging?
he's very smart, and he understand what he need to do in a ring, so he's a very very good and top fighter. So he has a very hard punch, and he know how he need to use this punch.
Right. What fighters do you like to see out there that you, when you hear they're fighting, you want to make sure you check out their fights?
Какие боксеры ты бы хотел видеть, когда боксируют? Это обязательно надо посмотреть, будет хороший.
Like, who are you a fan of?
I like boxing. I love watching boxing. For me, it doesn't matter.
So whenever there's, if you see it on HBO,
If I-
Showtime,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
on,
yeah,
you'll
yeah.
watch it.
Yeah.
Got it. Very cool. That's good to see.
When you look, Vasily, go back to December. Egis, me and you, I think, helped make this fight. The Rigondeaux thing. Things went back and forth.
Thank God for that happening.
Yeah,
by the way. He put us out of
Vasily, were you surprised how easy it was to fight Rigondeaux? And was he just simply too small? And did you say, oh, this is just not a challenge?
For me, it was not surprise, because then we sign a contract on this fight. I understand he's smaller, he's older, and Yes, he is the best, but he is the best in his weight category. Not my.
So fifth, sixth round ends, and you're thinking, okay, I'm winning every round, and they start waving it off. Were you surprised that he quit?
No. Before this fight, I explain you because before the fight, one journalist asked me about if Rigondeaux quit.
Mm-hmm.
If he quit, it will be a surprise for you. I answer no, it's not. It will be a surprise for me because I understand our size. Недаром придумали весовые категории.
That's why all the weight classes was invented. So he was a much smaller guy, and I understood that. And then we went to the ESPN fighters meeting, and they interviewing a fighter. So they asked basically, "Are you going to be surprised if all these guys already quit in the corner? Are you going to be surprised if you're going to say that?" And he goes like, "I'm not going to be surprised about it."
Yeah, I mean, Mario, Rigondeaux
was a part of the game.
He not only quit the fight, Rigondeaux has quit social media.
Right.
He literally has not tweeted since December 8th or 9th
of
last year.
It's like a career ender, not just a fight, too. So we have some questions for some fans?
Yeah, some fans on Twitter. I have a few questions for you here, Vasyl. For you, what part of boxing do you enjoy the most and the least?
Что самое больше нравится, что не нравится?
I enjoy every sparring session. I enjoy because I love to feel my opponent. I love to feel what I can to do in the ring. I like it. And
Да, что тебе не нравится самое больше?
I don't like it. Wake up 5 in the morning and go into training.
Yeah. Let me ask you a quick follow. So, when you're training for a fight, how often are you sparring a week, and when do you stop prior to the fight?
I have 3 times a week.
Sparring.
Sparring station.
How many rounds?
One, it's different. First week I have 4 and 6 rounds. Second weeks I have 8, 10, and every weeks we go up.
You go up.
Yeah.
His father makes a session of sparring sessions, and depends how he feels.
See how intense it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like on Tuesday, he feels the father looks at him the way he feels, and he goes like, okay. So Wednesday morning they woke up and the father looks at that everything. Okay, and then we go to the sparring. Then we're just gonna find out how many rounds he's gonna go.
Got it. Adjust accordingly.
The most I saw him sparring, I saw him 15 rounds, 4 minutes. 5 different sparring partners, 30-minute rest between the rounds.
Wow. 30 seconds, yes.
30 seconds, 15 rounds.
Wow.
4-minute round.
4-minute rounds, 30-second rest.
30-second rest.
It's very interesting.
And five different sparring partners.
Anatoly Lomachenko does not play.
Dang.
He does not play.
Dang. Thanks, Dad.
Here's a question from Pink Jumpsuit Boxing. Bob Arum recently stated that Lomachenko, that your ceiling was 140 pounds. Do you agree with that?
No. It's too early to talk about this.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Now I 135, and I wanna stay a couple years in 135. We'll see. But
Dominated 135. Not just to stay. Dominated.
Clean out.
Right.
All the belts.
And it's and then looking at Vasyl too, like Manny Pacquiao before him, who started out at what, 112?
112.
And ended up at 147, and honestly weighed in under 140, literally weighed in with his clothes. I guess you just don't know until you see how your body matures and you see how the career lays out eventually, right? You just have to kind of see how your body feels and see how you're reacting as a fighter. Right?
Yeah,
like in the amateurs, I know the stories because he was such a small kid. So his father made his like underwear with some lead in it. So he goes to the weight in, he puts that underwear, and he has like 4 or 5 pounds on him in it.
Dang, Mr. Lomachenko's hardcore.
Yeah. Here in America, they just put like a roll of quarters in your pockets. He went high tech.
Right.
Here's a question from Right on the Button, my colleague at UCN Live, Michael Baca. He says, as he approached 135, Loma said that his preparation wouldn't change. Now that he's had surgery, does his preparation remain unchanged?
Сейчас после операции ты думаешь, что...
It's hard answer. It's question not for me. It's question for my father. You know? I just do what he say.
Yeah. You have to listen to your body
Yes,
too.
yes,
See
of
how
course.
it feels.
Now, here's a question from the president, Andrew V. Kennedy, for Mr. Klimas. What do you think of Eddie Hearn's DAZN plans with the streaming, and could he see any of his fighters ever fighting on that platform?
Well, you know, boxing is a challenge. So fighters are challenging in the ring, and the promoters are challenging outside of the ring. So Eddie Hearn came in, which are good for the sport. You know, now we have more challenges. You know, like
Right.
so Golden Boy, Top Rank, main events. Eddie Hearn is now stepping in. You know, we have some other smaller promoters who is a challenging. So it's I think it's a good for sport. Can they see my other fighters on his platform? Sure, why not? If they're gonna come up with a good proposals, you know, they're gonna do a good shows. Why not? You know, and if somebody has a good fighter, it's easy to promote.
Vasily, I know Gennady Golovkin, had moved to the United States. Actually lives in Santa Monica, not too far from here, about 2.5 years ago. Do you ever plan on living out here full time?
Maybe. Now I don't know.
What do you consider home right now?
Где у тебя дом? Где ты считаешь дом?
I live in Ukraine, in Odessa.
Oh, so still the Ukraine.
Yeah,
Okay, I didn't know if New York was still more of a kid. It's nice out here, sunny all the time.
Yeah.
But the rest of the family is still in the Ukraine.
Yes.
Well, Vasily, if you do decide to come to LA, let me give you one piece of advice as a native Southern California kid. Wear your seatbelt. So many cars out here, so many crazy drivers, and you're going to hear excuses like, well, I'm not going very far, or I'm in a rush, or it's going to wrinkle my shirt. It's too uncomfortable, and I just forget. If you've ever heard of any of these excuses or used them yourself, you are putting yourself at risk of injury or death, and it could also cost you a lot of money. Cops are also writing tickets, by the way, so why take the risk? Do the smart thing and start buckling up every trip, day or night. Click it or ticket.
Very good advice, Lopez, as always. And Egis Klimas also has a vast stable of fighters. Couple of questions I want to ask him regarding some of his other boxers. Alexander Usyk, another Ukrainian gold medalist, is scheduled to fight Murat Gassiev in the World Boxing Super Series Cruiserweight Finals. Everyone on Twitter wants to know, Egis, when and where is that fight going to be?
Can I tweet that to you too to answer that question?
Go ahead.
I would like to know too. So basically, we're waiting maybe 2-3 days. Maybe some. I hope we're gonna have an answer next week. When and where? So, but looks like we're gonna go like 21st, 28th of July. Is that gonna be somewhere in Europe, in Russia? I really don't know. I can't answer that question right now, but probably next week we're going to have some news.
But it will happen, and we're looking
Yes,
forward
of
to it.
course.
That was a great tournament, and that's an example of
that was very, very good tournament. That's what Vasily, when came to United States, that's what he said. We need more tournaments like that, and then to find out who is a really champion in that weight class, who can hold all 4 titles.
Now, speaking of another Ukrainian, the nail, Alexander Gavozik, he is the mandatory for Adonis Stevenson. Egis, is the BC going to stick by their mandate and give him the next shot at Stevenson?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say that or not, but I already seen a letter from a BC where Gvozdzik is a mandatory for Stevenson.
Hey, Vasily, I just wanted to ask again, when you're not boxing or training, what do you like to do?
I love hunting and fishing. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
nice.
it's
Hunting and
my hobby,
fishing.
yeah.
Didn't expect that. What do you like to hunt?
Ducks and кабан дикий, это как будет wild pig, but
Yeah, boar, wild pig, yeah.
Or, yeah.
I like hunting, fishing too. Very cool.
You should go to Ukraine one day.
I would. Well, I had a girlfriend. My ex-girlfriend was from Kiev.
Sorry
in
about
Ukraine. Yes, exactly. Oh no, not as sorry as I am. She was crazy. That's another story. That's an R-rated story. She's crazy. Yes, I picked up a little Russian too. Привет, как дела? Хорошо. What was the other one? How do I say? Пожалуйста.
Пожалуйста.
Пожалуйста. I'm remembering all the
All
other
I know
stuff.
is нет.
Yet тебе люблю. I love you. That's all I needed to know. See it right there. But all right, so hunting and
Great.
fishing, very cool. And when you're done boxing, when your career is done in the ring, what would you like to do in the next phase of your life?
It's hard question. I never think about this. Can you give me more 5 or 7 years, and after that I answer this question?
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to retire you. I hope you fight for the next 10 years. I'm just thinking if you've ever thought about it.
Vasyl and Egis, when you were going to the American promoters or the major ones coming out of 2012, you guys made it very clear, we're not doing 20 setup fights. We're not even doing 10 setup fights. We want a title fight right off the bat. Egis, how hard was it to actually get promoters on board with that plan?
Wasn't very hard. As we know, Bob Arum is a very clever man, and nobody wants to spend their own money. Promoters doesn't want to invest a lot of money into it. So basically, when we sit down with Bob and we said, he doesn't care much about the signing bonuses. He doesn't care about, he wants just to come in and fight for the title. And then Bob, he says, okay, what? No, I can't make you in the first bout, that's for sure, because you're not in the rankings. No sanction going to be support us. But I'll give you a first bout. You win that bout. Second bout, you're going to have to fight for the title. And that's what it is. We sign a deal.
That's some of Bob Arum's, I think, most impressive work. I mean, of course, nobody really has a resume like Loma's amateur background to come into it, but still, to fight for a title that quick was really impressive. And I think the history now has been able to prove it.
And Vasyl, you're about 5 years into your career. Has your professional career been satisfying?
Ты уже 5 лет находишься в карьере. Ты доволен своей карьерой?
Yeah, of course. Why not? Because I 3 times world champion in different weight class. Of course, I'm happy.
Yes, well, we're happy to have had you here in studio and to join us. We look forward to seeing you in the ring again, hopefully very soon. So heal up quickly, my friend. And Egis, always great to see you, and hopefully you'll come by again with some other breaking news on some of your other fighters.
Definitely.
But keep us posted when we're there, and also when the next fight for Mr. Lomachenko is.
Definitely.
So, Mario, always great to have Egis Klimas and Vasyl Lomachenko. What an impressive guy.
Oh, man, those guys are super cool.
And you know what's funny? Him reaching 30, he's
Yes.
kind of reaching that period where he might be losing his hair.
No, you know what? Actually, it would start prior to that. That's the one thing I think guys are surprised to learn once they start hitting their mid-20s is that if it's going to go, it starts to go early.
Yeah.
By the time you're 30, you already know what you're going to be working with, what kind of hairline.
Thing is, when you start to notice it, it's already too late.
That's exactly
already
it.
too late.
You got to be on top of it.
Yeah, so once it starts, there's no stopping it. The solution, forhims.com, a one-stop shop for hair loss, skin care, sexual wellness for men. And thanks to science, baldness can be